Hello and good morning. Now may the sun rise for a Monday in your favor. May the stars align and the breath of a new day meet you in the most favorable of ways.
That is so poetic. What a way to start a Monday, the beginning of another new week. Good morning. And hey, after all that, I don't think there's anything I can add to it. But to bid you welcome to the best start to every single weekday morning. Welcome to Wake Up Nigeria.
There isn't any other better way to begin. Trust us, it's, been our thing for quite a few years now.
Yes, indeed.
And we hope that you will set out your day with us. Now, it's time for the kids
Oh,
to
yeah.
prepare for the first week of resumption.
Woo! Tell me about it. School
Yeah.
fees, that's all I see. But in any case, hey, don't you guys worry. We're here to put that special
They're
spark
going
into
for
your morning.
learning, enlightenment,
I
knowledge.
That's what you see. What I see is school fees, money, this, that.
Yeah. Well, okay, I see school runs, new uniforms. How many socks do they have? That's what I see.
Oh boy, but hey, we're glad that they're here with us for 2024. We couldn't ask for anything else but that we're all together as family and happy. And we're happy that you guys are here too for another Monday, the second week for 2024. Look out for some great discussions dialed in for you guys. Interesting guests, of course. And we have that kitchen segment everybody loves to experience.
And a small nugget here for you.
Another
Love
one?
is not really just about receiving. It's also about giving, It gives you happiness because you apply yourself to the service of others. Like some people serve coffee and some people drink it.
Where is the coffee?
My name is
My name is Mazino Appeal. On the other hand, you guys can make a deliberate plan and also put in effort when you think about it. Hey, you always need a destination before going out any place, so make sure that you have a destination in your head of what you want to do this year. And of course, you're just going to strive and make sure that you meet it. Thank you very much for joining us. There's multiple ways in which you can watch the show live. Perhaps maybe you could do that on TV, what you're doing right now, perhaps. We're channel 16 on GOTV. We're 1-1 on StarTimes, and of course 49 for UHF.
We're also on X, streaming live on X.
Oh, yes.
That's at TVC Entertainment _. And in fact, all social media platforms are at TVC Entertainment _ right now. And well, hey, we have quite a lot on the lineup for today.
Oh yes,
First
coming up on today's show. Coming up is going to be our musical performer today. Singer, songwriter, a very interesting individual, Damsey, will be joining us. So make sure that you are tuned in for that one when he comes to give us one of the renditions of his best works.
And as always on Mondays, we have a dose of motivation beyond resolutions. Steps to unleash your best self in 2024. It's all about self-awareness. And Martha Peters, trainer, support coach, and president and founder of 21 Learning Academy, is going to be here to talk about it.
Yola Damilola, creative director at Tummy Filled Cakes and Confectionaries. She'll be joining us for our SME segment. Today we discuss the world of entrepreneurs in the confectionery business, her challenges, and how she's navigated through the business.
A marvelous Monday to you, Mazino.
And a marvelous Monday to you, Mommy.
Aw, yes, school runs are back again.
I know.
Yeah, exactly. So
it's different for you than it's different for us as husbands.
Yeah.
Because I think mostly once we're done with paying the checks, it's all your work up again. So I can imagine that you had a lot to go through this morning preparing
over the weekend
while you're not there.
Yeah. There's one thing that you do not want. You don't want your kids to arrive at school looking disheveled.
I know.
Or, just like they were not prepared. And then there is a way the teachers look at you when they know you're rushing to work and you're looking all put together.
Yeah.
And then your child just looks like, did you tuck in that blouse well?
Well, they can't blame you. You're here every morning. You have to be here every morning.
Yeah, but I'm
But I heard you talking to your logistics manager about how to get them there on time and all of that. So that was actually kind of like, I appreciate that.
A lot has gone on.
I also want to appreciate my wife because she's going to have to do that this morning before herself going to work. So I can imagine all she's going to go through.
Yes.
And I think by extension, we're going to have some sort of this kind of conversation inside of our What's Up and About topic today. You guys just wait. It's going to be a very interesting one because Mary has some very interesting input on the topic that we have for today. But back to school runs.
But it also means in Lagos, especially traffic.
Oh, that's bad.
It means the school buses are back on the road. A lot more cars are on the road taking kids to and from school. There's just a lot more pressure on the roads than there was before. So you might want to check your maps and figure out the alternative routes because there's always that gridlock of, okay, yes, everybody just is like ready, set, Go.
Well, don't overthink it, however, you know.
Really?
Just, you know, don't overthink it, because the pressures that brings, you now start thinking, oh, what to do, what I haven't done, and all that. Don't worry. These kids can take care of themselves sometimes as well. Yeah, but then again, you always have to put in that initial effort.
So hopefully you're prepared for anything as a parent.
And you're welcome. My name is Mazino Appeal. Let's do the news now. We're going to begin in Abuja, where President Bola Tinubu has ordered a thorough and comprehensive probe of the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation. The ministry is led by Better Edu. Now, this latest development is contained in a statement by the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris. The Information Minister says the federal government acknowledges the uproar over the development in the humanitarian ministry under Better Edu, saying that, quote, the government is determined to unravel the truth, end of quote. Controversy had enveloped Ms. Edu's alleged involvement in the approval of 585,198,500 to be disbursed into personal accounts. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, Better Edu says, plans to tarnish her image will amount to nothing despite the public outcry. The minister has denied any wrongdoing in a post on X. She said, quote, integrity and accountability are our watchword. Under my watch in the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, no one will embezzle government funds as before. The plans to tarnish the image of the administration, my person, or the ministry will amount to nothing, end of quote. Now, away from that to the interception of a consignment of Colorado, a very strong strain of cannabis at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport in Lagos by operators of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency. The illegal drugs were concealed in boxing kits imported from the United States of America on Monday, the 1st of January this year. The receiver of the parcel was thereafter arrested on the Saturday following the arrest of one Olorunfumi Olakunle, who distributed the psychoactive substance to dealers across Lagos State. The female supplier of ammunition to bandits, Bilkis Suleiman, came up on the list of 12 other suspects arrested by NDLEA operatives. She was arrested on the Wednesday along Zaria-Kano Expressway in possession of 249 rounds of live ammunition concealed in black nylons. And outside Nigeria, Al Jazeera says 2 of its Palestinian journalists in the Gaza Strip have been killed in an Israeli strike on their car on Sunday. The Qatar-based network says it was a targeted killing. According to reports, an Israeli drone strike hit the car Hamas al-Dawda was traveling in west of the southern city of Khan Yunis. He was working for Al Jazeera at the time of his death. Another journalist, Mustafa Turaya, was also killed and 2 others injured. Mr. al-Dawdu is the son of well-known Palestinian correspondent for Al Jazeera TV, Wael al-Dawdu, who has spent his career covering Gaza. In a statement, Al Jazeera accused Israel of, quote, targeting journalists and violating the principles of freedom of the press. And that's all we have for the news and in the sports. Thanks for joining us. Do stay tuned. We've got more inside of Wake Up Nigeria.
Yay.
You are welcome for a Monday morning. Are you welcome? Of course you're welcome. Everybody's welcome. Welcome, Mary.
Hi,
Good to
how
have
you doing?
I'm good. How's
What's
school
happening?
resumption for you?
Happy back to school Monday.
Now real back to school Monday.
How's that going?
Not bad, not bad. It's same as always.
When did you wake up?
Same time I wake up every. So the thing is this issue of waking up early.
Before you tell the
No,
story.
before you talk it, let me
story.
please say it now. Especially for we who have to run an early morning show. For goodness sake, the show was even at some point at from 6 a.m. Waking up early is like second nature to us.
Well, let me tell the story.
So-
So there's a lady who's been trending on X, and of course it has spilled into other socials, for a very interesting reason. Now, there was first a tweet that was put out, and this tweet was, I think, by a previous person who talked about waking up early to cook for their husband.
Yeah.
She replied to this tweet by saying, I didn't used to do it, I was very lazy, but the day my husband told me that a colleague, a lady, brings an extra spoon just for him to share in his meal, she had to start waking up at 4 a.m. to prepare his
She says, husband, she just married.
husband, she just married. I think they have a kid, a baby, actually. So 5 a.m. was what she said. Now, this tweet got the attention of so many people. Some were not so nice, as she was some people were castigating her for, I mean, that kind of feminists exactly
Can we stop
came
with
on
feminists?
board. Let's put it like it is, came on board and gave their own submission. However, there were other people who thought that it was such a noble thing to do. And because of that, she's been trending for gifts that she's been getting from brands or individuals,
companies,
monetary generators, diapers, what else?
Organizations, I don't know.
Big gifts. I don't even know how she could, maybe they need a warehouse at this point. She shared her account balance, and it's huge so far.
Yeah.
Now, it caught people's attention. But Mary...
It's not just Mary, actually.
Not just Mary.
Why?
A whole lot of people thought that these are things that regular people do.
But first of all, I would like to say I think it was just her time. This was God's way of blessing her.
I think she was just really fortunate.
Because in my opinion, there's not actually really that big a deal. This is something women have been doing for
ages.
Ages past. But she just happened to tweet about it and talk about it with a certain level of confidence. Let's say pride in the fact that she did this. But I was actually a little bit peeved.
Was she talking about it with pride?
So for you to say,
good pride.
Yeah, a good kind of pride.
Mm-hmm. I'm even talking about the word pride itself, whether good or bad. But let me let you finish and I'll tell you what I mean.
It takes a lot of confidence for you to actually come out and say, it's when I noticed that someone was giving bringing a second spoon to the office for my husband to eat. That is the reason why she decided to make that move. Was it really from the heart? Was it out of fear, anxiety of losing her husband to someone who might put something inside the food? I don't know. How sincere actually is it?
So the last line of that original tweet of hers already says it. Husband, we are just married.
Okay.
It already answers your question. And that's what I was saying about the pride. It wasn't the pride of me waking up early, because everybody knows that waking up early to make breakfast, for example, is very stressful and all that. I think for me, it was a case of misplaced priority in the sense that she wasn't more focused on, let me take care of my husband.
Let him actually be satisfied.
I think when I feed and it was more, she was more focused on
not losing
him. And that made me feel weird because the way I was raised, food is basic. Like, when I see people talk about cooking and all that on social media, I smile because I'm like, food is like the most important thing. You need it to survive.
Yeah.
But even if you as a woman cannot cook or you as a man cannot cook, you still have to get people that will provide food for you. Yeah. And thankfully, there are many options these days. But so for me, it was when the stuff blew up, I was like,
so you said something. You used the term misplaced priority, and I have to talk about Nigerians now. Yes, I'm happy that she's got that amount of money, all those gifts. It's great. You're blessed. But misplaced priority for me is the Nigerians that are donating as much as they are now. There are a lot of people reaching out to say they need money for surgery. There are kids that are out of school. There are people that maybe want to just pay for tuition maybe they have great ideas. They need support for businesses. Nobody is supporting these guys, but just because of one tweet, which we cannot even prove. We can't even prove whether is it true.
We started from one side of the spectrum.
You
started from one side of the spectrum.
If you were a husband now, would you dispute it?
If I was a husband, I would be a little bit embarrassed.
No, but would you dispute it?
I would.
They've been very well blessed. Look at what has happened to them. Would they have imagined this would happen?
So I have to ask
December 31? Hang on a second.
Yeah.
You started from one side of the spectrum and ended up on the other side.
How?
You started by saying it's her time and she was
which is great.
To this being a case of misplaced priority and we all do that and it's nothing special. But I'm thinking it this way. I believe that congratulations to everybody who does these. And of course, I hail every woman who wakes up at that time to prepare food for their wives. You guys are doing for your husband.
Oh, no, it's fine. We know we are married to wives.
Because we were going there.
You guys are married to fantastic people, your husbands. Great job. But not everybody can be congratulated or rewarded. I think that in this time and age, with the way we see ourselves, with families breaking up and that being celebrated on social media, we needed that beacon of hope.
Okay.
And that was it. And like you started, and I espouse to that, it's just her time.
It's just
God's way of blessing her. So on that note, I would like to congratulate her for standing out as that one person that otherwise can actually look at and say, oh, you're doing something for us, or you represented us well. Congratulations to her. Regarding the brands and that being not, I totally understand what
there are a lot
saying,
of people,
but
so
also,
people
hang on
don't
a second,
believe people
but
anymore.
hang on a second. But I'm also saying that what I just expressed are exactly what the brands also want to hop on to help encourage more people to do.
Are you sure that's it? Are you sure it's not
Then
clout
again, there's
chasing on the
marketing.
part-
I know.
It's clout chasing on the part of the brands.
When brands do that, it's usually clout
It's
chasing.
clout chasing.
But that's even on the side. Now, back to the misplaced priorities. There are many angles to the misplaced priorities. Another angle of the misplaced priorities was something you mentioned earlier about feminists. The reason many people, especially the male folks, jumped on this was because of their ego. And that's the truth, because there are so many women who tweet about, oh, I can't do this for my husband anymore. I can't do this for my husband. Though realistically, when you're not there, you're doing even more. Yes, the same people will tell you that men are scum. They get married the next Saturday. So stay there and be saying men are scum. But that's on the side. And that's why I'm talking about misplaced priority. It wasn't done for this woman.
Yeah, you stated that.
Because of the fact that, oh, this woman does this for her husband. After all, many women tweet about the way they care for their husband. It was done because certain popular feminist accounts made comments about what she said, They responded to it in ways that many men didn't like. So it was a case of, we go show.
So it was a case of feminists against men.
We go show now. And then also the fact that, okay, so she's been talking about the fact that they've been struggling, the hardship they've been experiencing. So it was a case of, Shebi they've been suffering. Shebi this woman, they wake up this morning. All you feminists will go show you Pepe.
Let's show you.
So when I was talking about misplaced priorities, those are the things I was looking at. Like, were you people doing this to encourage the fact, or you were doing it just to pepper them? Because in fact, somebody even went as far as making reference to NSAS.
Wow.
Like the matter became even really...
I think it got out of control.
It got out of control.
This is not my submission, but I'm asking what's bad.
I see a lot of people being held.
I feel like, I don't know, I'm not a guy, but I'm thinking as a guy, at that point, people are blessing your wife this much, as in sending money to her this much, because she said this. She's talked about struggling so much. I would have my ego bruised a little.
You mean her husband?
Yeah, if I was a guy. I would have my ego bruised.
I mean...
Yeah, for real.
Really?
But anyway, as it is, they've gotten so many things they
can't finish that, but no, I disagree with you.
And she did not have to do anything
accept all the words
to get it.
She just complained about how much struggle.
I married a good wife.
My own is this. As far as I am concerned, on the one hand, I'm happy for them. On the other hand, I'm also saying, when we do things, let's do it with pure heart, not because of trying to hurt people or trying to do things or trying to retaliate or trying to clout chase, because basically those are the things involved.
All right, Mary.
Again, back to how we started.
No, we have to end this segment.
And we are happy for her.
Yes, a very...
yes, we are just talking about other things that
So says a Mary, who at the start of this conversation said she was going to be rather tacit, but... Thank you very much, everybody. We still expect your opinion. Use the hashtag, especially on X, WakeupNigeria on TVC. Let us know what you think about this matter. We've given ours. We'd like to hear from you. We'll be right back. Do stay tuned. Welcome. It's time again for the papers for a Monday morning, and we have the front pages here with us. I'm joined by Mary. Thank you very much, Mary, for joining.
Good to be here. Good to be here. Let's take a look at that.
Let's take the papers. We've got a couple of them from the Vanguard, Guardian, The Nation, and also the Tribune. And if we have plenty of time, we'll put in the Daily Times in there. But I'm going to be starting from the Vanguard newspaper. If you work with me here, Mary, let's start with a big headline here in rubrics. Naira notes scarcity once again for 2024. Crunch worsens, banks ration cash across counter. Customers frustrated as some banks shut ATMs, POS operators jerk up charges, and they say their sources cash outside. They're sourcing cash outside of the bank. We're going to come back to that one, Mary. At the top for the Vanguard, NNPCL and Port Harcourt Refinery, the unfolding success story of rehabilitation by Femi Sune. And Humanitarian Ministry, Tinubu orders probe into alleged diversion of 585 million naira into private accounts and tackle increase in cases of killings. Ayelku tasks federal government. UI and Ilorin Covenant Varsity say no fake professors on payroll, and EFCC's visits, Dangote explains, assures stakeholders. Let's come back to the issue at hand. You must have been experiencing this yourself, because I experienced it yesterday when I went to get cash and I wasn't able to get any. The only place I was able to get, they had hiked up the fees, and I'm like, what's happening here? until I remembered what's been going on. There's still no real explanation as to why there is that cash scarcity. However, another trend has started out of this, and that is that there's beginning to be fake Naira notes out there as people have started to complain. And you can only imagine how it was since with the economy the way it is and the scarcity going on.
So the thing with this cash scarcity, it actually started as, you know, something that will probably just
fizzle out after the holidays.
But unfortunately, it's ongoing, and this is the second week of the year, and it's worrisome because Nigerians, not even Nigerians, naturally, humans turn everything to business opportunities. We know what happened the last time. So we can say for the last time, people were hoarding cash because of the change in currency and all. But what's the reason this time? And let's also keep in mind that if this continues and it lasts longer, many people are going to start hoarding cash towards the end of the year. It will now become a new trend. Because I know some people who hoard fuel towards the end of the year, knowing that people will need more fuel, but it will get to that point, and that's what I find worrisome.
Interestingly sad. What paper have you got now?
Okay, so I have the Guardian newspaper, and it says federal government in fiscal dilemma over high inflation, low revenue, forex crisis. It also says Pope Francis's approval of same-sex blessing. So that's actually an editorial piece in the newspaper. CBN pays airlines additional $61.64 million stock funds. Here we also have towards an inclusive society for people living with disability. Tinubu orders probe of humanitarian ministry over 37 billion naira, as well as 535 million naira funds. Supreme Court affirms states have no regulatory powers on inland waterways. 5 dead. I saw this one yesterday. 5 dead, 30 others rescued as boats capsizes in River Niger. And I'll take this as the last one. Worsening insecurity. Anyoku blames killing on non-prosecution of perpetrators. Now, all of these stories and more you can find in the Guardian newspaper today. Let's also mention the inflation rates. That is like a 40 story on the front page. It has talking about 28.2%, with the budget being 28.7 trillion naira. So that's actually, well, something many folks, you can see the chess game there, like what is being done to the naira note. It is really, really worrisome. But I would like us to just touch quickly on the Pope Francis approval of same-sex blessing. So the thing is, many people are misunderstanding this particular situation. And one of the things I just feel I need to mention is this. Pope Francis, to an extent, one could say, is liberal. But then is it I wouldn't say just liberal. I would say that he's also someone who is more encompassing. Since he became the Pope, so many things have changed. For example, divorcees had no place in the church, but now divorcees are allowed to at least get blessings for certain things. Before, it was a whole lot more difficult to do that. In fact, you're as good as excommunicated. So certain things have actually been changed. So it's a case of
really
really
a case of changing anything. He didn't say that they're marrying these couples. He says they're
He's just trying to say, you know what, you are still loved by God, and then of course you're still welcome to the church. So
religion's changing. Let's just put it so. A lot of religions are changing their stance on a lot of things.
Yeah.
Africa, on the other hand, might be a difficult case for them. Let's move on now to the Nation newspaper with this headline here. Front and center, Tinubu approves 12 billion naira outstanding payments to Super Eagles and others. 21 governorship appeals for hearing at Supreme Court this week. Adebutu versus Abiodun to come up Thursday, judgment likely on Kano, Lagos on Friday. And President orders probe of alleged 545 million naira fraud in humanitarian agency ministry. And EFCC didn't take any documents away from our office, say Dangote. And foreign airlines get $61.64 million forex backlog. And Supreme Court waterways belong to federal government. Would have loved to go into that one, but we don't have any time. Let's move on to your paper.
I'm also really excited about the outstanding payments to the Super Eagles. So yes, I can imagine how you feel. Nigerian Tribune is what I have here, and it says, Better Edu, Tinubu directs probe. as alleged financial scandal rocks Humanitarian Affairs Ministry. PDP demands minister sack into contravened ICPC public service rules, and that's coming from Falano. Down here we see Emefiele, banks to face probe over forex deals, probe to cover 9-year period. Wow. Free train ride, passengers lament, NRC speaks. Yeah, there's been a furore over that over the weekend. Talking about furore, there's one here that says furore over federal government's grains palliative. House senators supplied grains while awaiting funds. Federal government only gave offer letter to contractors, not money. Here we see CBN disburses additional $61.4 million forex backlog to foreign airlines. This is exciting news, especially for regular travelers. Nigeria boosts OPEC's December crude oil production by extra 50,000 barrels per day. NBET paid over 2 trillion naira to Gencos in 5 years. That's an NESI report. And finally, I'll take this as the final one. Forex probe. EFCC didn't take any documents from our office, and that's coming from Dangote Group. Well, so many stories, really. The newspapers have loads of them today, so you might want to check them out and then decide which one you want to purchase if you don't want to.
Unfortunately, I can't take much from the Guardian newspaper, but I want to put in this last one from the Daily Times. However, Nimet predicts 3-day sunshine, haziness from Monday. Yeah, I don't know about you, but hey, what else could you expect at the start of the year? Blessings only. But thank you very much for joining me.
All I want is cold.
Cold? You want the cold?
Yeah, like
has it been
everywhere is so hot.
Has it been?
It has been hot. What are you talking about? Where do you stay? Are you sure you're in Nigeria?
I'm a reptile. I just adapt.
No, I should stay away.
In any case, thank you very much for joining us for the papers. Thank you very much, Mary, for joining me.
Good to be here.
And of course, let's now move on to what we have happening inside of the kitchen. The start for a, grand week. Let's find out what we'll be having for breakfast. Titi, please. First off, I'm very hungry. So make it a good one.
Yeah. Mazino is always hungry as a reptile, apparently. But we have a brand new chef in the kitchen. You know we love brand new chefs. You know why? Because they are so generous. They love to bring amazing arrays and ingredients. And when it comes to food, this particular chef, I have a feeling, has a particular harmony to how she prepares it. Speaking of harmony, Chef Harmony is in the building. Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome. Well, with that smile and these ingredients, I think we have the recipe already down. But let's just tell everybody what it's going to be like today. What are we making?
We are making yam porridge this morning.
Yam porridge. Now, is this a special thing for you or where you're from? Or is it just a delicacy you make in your catering outfit?
Nothing special from where I'm from. I'm from Ekiti, by the way, so we eat pounded yam there.
Oh, okay.
But this time around, I decided to prepare something that goes all out across every nationality. Everybody loves yam porridge. So.
Well, I know I do. And it's one of those one-pot dishes that just makes life a lot easier. Once you have one pot and you throw everything in my own kitchen, I throw everything in and then it's done. But I know you have a special technique. Let's talk ingredients. Yeah. This is...
fried beef.
Fried beef. So I guess you boiled this down and you fried
it.
Any special spices in there? No?
No.
Just, all right, simple fried beef.
Yeah.
And what do we have here?
This is ugu, a regular ugu.
Okay, dried?
No, fresh.
Fresh, okay, so you just chop them down yourself?
Yes.
All right, and then...
crayfish.
Almighty crayfish.
Yes.
Right there. That's some powerful flavor right there. And then here we have round fish.
Yes.
How do they call it?
Panla fish.
Panla, ejakika,
yes.
round fish, whatever you want to call it. With some onions.
Yes.
Now this is a pepper mix. What is in this mix?
We have tomato, we have some bawa and atarodo.
Okay, bawa, tomato, and atarodo. So in these glasses here, let's look at those. We have tomato paste, yes? Any special type of tomato paste?
No, just any kind of tomato paste.
Any tomato paste. And then you have vegetable oil?
Yes.
Fabulous. Okay, now let's talk spices. All right. So this, it makes it look very special when you put it in a glass cup like this. Looks very elegant. But let's talk spices. There are different types of stock cubes here.
Yes, there are.
Okay, talk to us about these.
Okay, so here we have our salt, we have some thyme, some curry. Then we have, you could use any spices that you like, but I prefer using it all mixed up like this.
Okay, so it's not the crayfish spice or
we have crayfish spice, we have chicken spice.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, fantastic. Now, of course, for yam porridge, we have the almighty yam itself.
Yes.
Now, you've already cut the yam down. Now, I'm always so, worried about cutting yam because I always feel like it's going to change color, but for some reason, it's still looking bright and white. How did you do that?
I think I picked the best at the market.
Okay, all right. So this is yam, this is a whole tuber we're looking at?
Yes, a whole tuber of yam
tuber.
with some sweet potato in it.
Okay, sweet potato in there as well. Okay, it's all cubed nicely. Yes. So what's the first thing we need to do right now?
Okay, first thing first, we are going to add in pepper mix.
All right.
Yes.
So for those of us who are at home and want to try this out themselves, please take a quick look at the ingredients you need. Now, if you have yam, sweet potato, crayfish, fish, some fried beef, ugu leaves, blended pepper, tomato paste, curry, thyme, vegetable oil, onions, seasoning, and salt, you are well on your way to putting together yam pottage. And it already feels like a very tasty treat. Chef Harmony, how are we going to harmonize all these ingredients now? What's the first thing we're going to do?
Okay, first thing first, we'll add our pepper mix.
All right, go ahead. Now, as she starts the process, she's putting in the pepper mix right now, and she's going to bring that to the heat, and then the process begins.
Yeah. Then we are going to go in with our tomato paste.
Tomato paste, all right.
Yes.
Tomato paste directly on top?
Yes.
All right.
So it's going to boil properly, so you don't have that tomato paste taste afterwards.
Okay.
Then we go in oil.
Okay.
So I prefer to use oil rather than using red oil.
Okay.
Because sometimes your red oil, getting it from the market, it could have some kind of taste already.
Yeah, sure.
So I'll go in. Then I'll be adding water.
Okay, the water is right here. Gotcha. All right, so while Chef Harmony is getting this done, this is one of those dishes that doesn't stress you. It doesn't give you wala. It's not, it's one of those, I think this is one of the things I'm going to be doing down for my kids. Just very enjoyable process here. We have Chef Harmony in the kitchen with us. Welcome.
Thank you.
Let's talk a bit about your catering outfit. Pronounce it for me again.
It's Poa's Kitchen.
Poa's Kitchen.
Yes.
All right. How did you name your kitchen?
Okay, so the inspiration came from the Bible.
Okay.
I was reading my Bible through, and there were two women in the Bible. We have Poa and Shifar. Exodus 1:15.
Okay.
Yes. So when you read through Moses and all of that, when Pharaoh asked that the first male children should be killed. And so one thing that we had the Hebrew women, and one thing that those two women did, were they preserved the lives of every male child in Egypt. And so they told Pharaoh that before we get there, these women had put to birth. And so they found favor in the sight of God. And so I just had to take the one that was shorter. I said, okay, poor, that would be nice.
And honestly, you are on national TV right now. Definitely with that name that you picked, you've definitely found favor. Thank you so much for telling us that story. I didn't expect that story, but it is a powerful one. Now, Chef Harmony, talk to us about what's been happening while we were away.
Okay, so.
Let's open this up, shall we?
Okay.
What's going on in here now?
So, it's coming to a boil already. Okay. I've added onion to it while we're away.
Yeah.
And so...
For those that missed it, there was already a pepper mix.
Yes, we have pepper mix, we have tomato paste, and we have oil, our groundnut oil, and we have our onion.
Okay. So this is the most important part of it.
Yeah.
Making sure it boils down.
Yes.
So this is not just yam. This is also
we have
sweet
some
potato.
sweet potato in it.
All right.
Yes.
To give it a,
that sweeter taste, exactly.
Right. So what do we do right now? Now that it's already bubbling, what do we do?
Okay, so now that it's bubbling, we go in with our seasoning.
All right, which ones? Which ones do we go in with first?
So actually, we're going with everything. Well, let's go in with our salt.
Okay.
I don't use too much salt.
Okay, so it's like a pinch, I guess?
Yes.
A bit
just
more than a pinch.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going with our curry. We have curry, we have thyme.
Curry powder.
Just curry powder, then
And
we just do
some
a little bit of thyme.
Okay, so this is like, it reminds me of a chicken seasoning.
Yes.
Chicken
this is
seasoning?
a chicken seasoning.
Yeah.
Yes.
These are the ones that this Allah says you normally use. These, big,
Exactly.
All right.
Exactly. That's it.
but it is a little off the flavor profile. You have fish here, and then you have beef. Then you now use a chicken seasoning.
The thing about all of that is we just want our potato to come out tasty.
Okay.
And so for this kind of meal, we don't really have to select anything.
Right.
So anything can go.
All right.
If you want chicken in it, if you want anything in
Beef
it,
in it?
anything.
All right. So we're definitely going to come back to see part of the final process in the kitchen later on. But if you're trying it at home this morning, maybe you want to prep it for your husband at 4 a.m. Before he goes to work. You want to try it out? These are the ingredients you need. Now, of course, you have to have yam on that list. There's also onions. There's pepper mix. There's, let me see, crayfish, fish, fried beef, ugu leaves, blended pepper, tomato paste, curry powder, thyme, vegetable oil, onion, seasoning, and salt. All right then, Chef Harmony is looking good, smelling good too. All right, we can't wait for this to come to the boil. Let's cover it up, Oh, all right. All right then, let's take a quick break, everyone. We'll be back very soon.
Yeah. Welcome back for another round. Second hour for our Monday edition is here. While most people set their alarms for the start of the, Wake Up Nigeria show, it's okay if you guys missed out on that one. And that's why we prepared another hour for you guys.
I doubt that many people were asleep when we started. I honestly, I feel like everyone's up today, being a back-to-school Monday. But, we are going to make good on this hour. You might have missed out on some really interesting sessions from earlier, but don't worry, welcome. Jump on board for the next 45 minutes. We have golden content right here on Wake Up.
You bet. I guess then,
What?
I mean, hey, this is by far the best 45 minutes that we could ever anticipate today.
Yeah, yes, it is.
That's what it is.
Speaking of anticipation, I'm anticipating what Mary is going to say when she gets to look into that pot beside Chef Harmony there. How you doing, Mary?
So I've not looked into the pots, but I've been looking at the table. And I'm seeing a lot of things I can just pick and throw in my mouth. I know I've had a piece of beef. I've also had a piece of fish.
Really?
I've been considering the crayfish. If only the vegetables could be eaten raw. But it's all good. We'll wait till the end of the show to see the end result of this.
I'm very unhappy. I came into work and I've been asking anybody who've got chips. Anybody got a little bit?
There's no chips yet.
You've been eating stuff since.
Your mouth like
Talks
chips.
about what's happening online.
It's okay.
So, Mazino,
Listen, guys, we're not going to let you guys waste
about it.
too long for what we have for the rest of the show. We've got final pieces to put together for you here, and you guys are welcome. My name is Mazino Appeal.
And I'm Titilaya Oyinson. It's Wake Up Nigeria. And hey, when it comes to being that pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, that's what we are. We are on GOTV channel 16, UHF channel 49 for terrestrial, and StarTimes channel
1-to-1.
1-to-1.
We are your friendly neighborhood leprechauns. Get it? Pot of gold?
No, that's you. I'm not a leprechaun.
Anyhow, social media. We want you guys to join us on there. X, Facebook, Instagram, all of them. We're at TVC Entertainment _. And of course, you can see us live on X and leave your comments there using the hashtag WakeupNigeria on TVC. Android, iOS, no matter what device you're using, one click, no stress. Download our app as soon as you can. Now, we've already given you a rundown of what the sporting weekend was like, but we also have motivation for you. And joining us to have a conversation and talk beyond revolutions, or rather resolutions. Resolutions, yeah. Steps to unleash your best self in 2024. Self-awareness is what we're discussing. Martha Peter, she's a trainer, support coach, president and founder of 21 Learning Academy. She's going to be right here very soon. Joining us for a musical performance, Dibi Raphael Odunayo, aka Damsey. He's a songwriter, inspirational singer, and also dancer. He's going to be joining us today for a performance of one of his fantastic pieces.
I know say life na vanity. Men they no keep my sanity. Come along with me. Men in calamity.
And then aptly named Tummy Fill Cakes, Iyola Damilola, creative director at Tummy Fill Cakes and Confectionaries, is going to be joining us on SME this morning. The world of entrepreneurship in the confectionery world, the challenges, navigating business. We'll find out all about that later on.
Tell you something about those cakes. I saw a post only just yesterday. Somebody said after you've done Christmas and New Year and your child's birthday is in January. Wahala.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think the best time for children to be born is on public holidays.
Really?
Be born on Christmas Day.
Oh, the best time
Let's
for
do
you,
everything.
I guess.
Be born on New Year's Day. That's the end of it.
Wow.
Though I know people born on those days don't like it. Be born on Valentine's Day already. And then, good thing we're talking about birthdays, because I have to give a quick shout out to my aunt, Mujibat Bashwa. Today is her birthday. Happy birthday to you, Auntie Muji. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, happy birthday. Now, I'm just thinking, you know, it's interesting you should mention birthdays and celebrations because it all comes with added pressure, financially speaking. You were talking about, on the headlines today, about the whole cash scarcity thing. But January has always been that kind of month where cash is surplus, by God's grace. You know, like, it just feels like, wait, where did all the money go?
I would like to
What
think
happened?
that right now, at this moment, Nigerians are, everybody is experiencing one form of, what's the word now? You have to really be careful how you're spending.
Yeah.
The economy is not very friendly at all. And I'm thinking that the first thing that's going to take a hit is actually the way we celebrate.
Yeah.
The way we celebrate. I like that, because celebrations these days will now be living room celebrations.
I'm telling you, celebrations will no longer be as elaborate as it used to be. Last year was already in its own a different phase. And this year, I think we're all tightening our belts even more, especially with the introduction to the year with the scarcity of the
I
notes.
actually don't know if it's worrisome or not.
You know what I'm saying? It's
I think
worrisome.
it's just more responsible because
That's an entire industry.
Yes, I understand that. But the thing is, even other countries abroad look at us and wonder, like,
how do they do these
so
big, elaborate celebrations?
Why is it so huge? I saw a particular wedding abroad where if you wanted alcoholic drinks, you had to pay for it at the bar of the wedding.
But that's how it usually is. As a matter of fact,
that's what
if
they
you
do.
go for
I haven't been to a wedding still.
if you go for a party, especially I know of the UK, if you go for a party, you would pay for your drinks.
You pay for your drinks.
In fact, for your food in some cases.
Why are you inviting me?
You are there for the
I'm not coming, no.
atmosphere.
No.
No, that's why they like going for Nigerian parties. Yeah. Free food. That's what you hear them say. It's free food.
It's sometimes I think we really need to tone down on that. I know it's an industry, but really it can be a bit much.
When you're coming for my party, please be ready to bring your own.
You learned something here this morning, so the next time you're putting out a celebration and inviting guests, make sure that the bar and the buffet is paid for by them, not you.
Don't worry, it will rain cash.
It will rain cash. Let's do weather.
Thanks for staying with us right here on Wake Up Nigeria. We have Chef Harmony, with that huge smile in the kitchen. We're putting together yam pottage. Yam pottage. It's one of my favorite dishes. It's one of the first dishes that, you know, just made me feel like home. It doesn't feel like an outing kind of dish. It feels like something homely, something that has to be in a house. And if a family makes yam pottage for you, it means that you're one of them.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of those great meals, and you've put together some amazing ingredients. We have something boiling there. What's in the pot? What's going on in there? Show us what's happening. Ooh, okay. So I can see the pepper mix, the yam, the potato, all the spices are coming together nicely. Ooh, okay. Fantastic. All right, let's leave it open for a second. I think we're putting some things in there, right?
Yes, we are.
All right, what's next? What's next?
So we'll put in the beef at this point.
All right, so this is fried beef?
Yes, this is fried beef.
Yeah.
We fried it, then I diced it already.
Go ahead. All right. So, in with the beef.
Yes.
So that's going to be boiling down with the yam and the potato. Hopefully, you know, to soften with it, I guess.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's going to, we're going to have its own juice, that taste in it.
All right, fantastic. All right, fantastic. All right, then I know there are some other ingredients that we have standing by. You're trying to push the beef down into the...
Yeah, I'm trying to stir.
Okay.
So that the yam on it would go down, so everything can cook equally at the same time.
I can see that you've already deboned some fish here.
I have.
Some fish. So, are you ready to go in with this yet?
No, I wouldn't be.
Okay, all right. What's going in next?
Then we can add our crayfish.
All right, go ahead. Please go ahead.
Yes.
All right. So this crayfish, you didn't do any processing to that at all?
No, I didn't.
Just straight in with the
yes.
crayfish.
So just have it whole, as you will.
All right, fantastic. So in with the crayfish, and then you stir it in even more. All right, so obviously if you're making a dish like this, you have to make sure the pot is very wide and there's loads of space in there. All right, it's coming together nicely. I'm really looking forward to how this turns out. Thank you so much for showing us this recipe, Chef Harmony. The ingredients are on your screen in a second if you want to try this at home. All right, so this is what you need. Maybe you have it lying around your kitchen. Do you have yam, sweet potato, crayfish, fish, fried meat? Hopefully you have ugu and some blended pepper. Just add it all together in one pot with the tomato paste, curry powder, thyme, vegetable oil, onions, seasoning, and salt. And how long is this process supposed to take in total?
Okay, so this should take another 20 minutes.
20 minutes, and then we have a dish. Yes. All right, then, Chef, thank you so much for coming to show us this. You have a quick break coming your way. There's still quite a bit on the show. Wake Up Nigeria.
Have you there still watching Wake Up Nigeria? It's time for some motivation. Joining us to talk beyond resolutions, steps to unleash your best self in 2024. Self-awareness. It's a lot, right? Well, we've got Martha Peter for that. She's a trainer, supports coach, president, and founder, 21 Learning Academy. And it's such a pleasure to have her in the studio with us today. Good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning. Thank you. I'm fine.
There seems to be a lot. And so I'm trying to break them down into tiny bits. But let's start from, you know, knowing yourself, like talking about the resolutions, beyond the resolutions. What exactly, well, you know, when people start the year, they're talking about making plans for the year, resolutions. So when you say beyond the resolutions, what exactly do you mean?
Okay, you know, when people set goals for the year, it's more about certain targets they want to achieve.
Yes.
But when we say beyond resolutions, let's talk about you. Being self-aware. That means that there is a you that needs to get the goals done. So there is someone you need to become to get certain things achieved. So it's beyond, I want to buy a new car this year, I want to have 2 destination visits and all that. It's who am I supposed to become a saver? Am I supposed to become an investor? So it's about now looking at me, the person to achieve the goals. So that's what it's about. Talking about beyond just setting the resolutions. Let's change you. Let's know you. Know your strengths. know what you can do, know what you're made for, know your superpowers, know what you're weak at. So you know what to work on, basically, to achieve the goals for the year.
So now let's talk through the steps to unleashing your inner self, your goals, right?
Yes.
Okay, so let's talk about those steps to unleash your best self in 2024.
Yes.
Okay, so let's talk about those steps.
Okay, so I would call it something, I crave it into what I call commandments.
Commandments, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Like, you know, there is this part of the Bible that says, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not, thou shalt not. So it's basically, thou shalt know thyself.
Thou shalt know thyself.
Thyself.
Wow.
Thou shalt know thy surroundings. Thou shalt know thy strength. So if you notice that's S, the first S is yourself, self. Then your surroundings, know your environments, know where you thrive better. So many people are in places where they don't thrive. They are in industries where they just want to earn, not where they have their passion and their best strength. And then know thy strengths, know what you're good at, know what you can do, know what is achievable. It's not everything it's not everything I can do that I'm doing now. But there are things I can push myself to achieve. So you need to know your strengths. You need to know your weaknesses. Don't go into, know what you should work on, what you should improve on, and know what you should balance, and know what to say no to. People think all opportunities are just what we should go for. But in 2024, I think it will be a very good one for an individual to sit and know, this is not for me, I'm not wired for this. So we need to know our unique wirings. That tells you the environment where you can thrive. That tells you the kind of people you can move with. When it comes to knowing your surroundings, it has to do with people. It's not just industry now. Sometimes you need to know the kind of what people bring out the best in me, what environment gives me what, that brings out every gist that is in me. There are some certain places you go to and you feel pressure to produce more. There are certain places you go to, you feel like you just want to withdraw, you know, you want to go in, you want to cave in. So it's 2024 is that here to really know these things. And then the last one I would say now, for those, if you believe in spirituality, know thy Savior.
Know thy Savior.
Yeah, know God and know what things He's telling you. There are certain things God is telling man. I can't dispute. I even say that in my training sessions, that do you believe, if you believe in God, then you need to know what God is saying about you, not just what the environment is saying about you. So these things can help you to start to know where to unleash and how to unleash yourself.
Okay.
Okay.
I actually like the steps that you mentioned. And so, you know what I would like you to do for me?
Okay.
Let's make it easier for people.
Okay.
Let's take a look at it one after the other, like
Okay.
know thy, know thy, know thy. So let's just take it about, I think there are about 5, 6 of them. Please run us through them again.
Okay, so when we take one, we run it through all.
No, we just take each one.
Okay, know thyself.
Self.
Yes, know thy surroundings.
Okay.
Know thy strength.
Yeah.
Know thy shortcomings.
Shortcomings
is the weakness.
And then
know thy Savior.
Okay, so that's 5 of them. Okay, so you need to know yourself, your surroundings, your strength, your shortcomings, and your Savior. That's, well, Savior, of course, for those who believe.
Yes, Savior first.
You know, in that, yes, because I know there are many people who are atheists, and so that's understandable. But then, of course, 2024 is a new year. People are making resolutions. As I said earlier, people are trying as much as possible to ensure that this year is their year, as many people are saying. But for people who are in that position of, okay, navigating through the steps you mentioned, what are the tips you can give them to ensure that they're able to successfully navigate through them, successfully utilize the steps all through the year?
Okay, so there is no hard and fast rule to it, but then there are ways to go about it generally. So I'm going to come from the general angle, what anyone could do, irrespective of your personality type, of your background advantage or disadvantage. So there's something we call introspection when it comes to self-awareness, where you have to look back into what was achieved the previous year. So did you set goals? Did you just make mouth? Did you write it down? So it could be that I just set some things in my mind. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. But you didn't write it down. That's something you've noticed. So I need to write it down. Because something you write stays more. If you write something down, there is more energy put. That's a bit of energy put into it than just what you think in your brain. So you write it down there. Now, is it visible before you? Is it everywhere? Am I thinking of my dreams this year? I want to, let me talk about a wild dream. Okay, I would like to train Lagos conductors to be polite. You can see that kind of thing. Is it somewhere, do I keep thinking about it? Do I have downfalls, pictures of BRTs that I can keep looking at? Do I use these buses once in a while? Or I'm just stuck up in my
really
Uber?
Understand. Yeah.
Do you get? So you need to start to audit what you've done rightly and wrongly, first of all. Then we go into something we call mindfulness. Now, be mindful of. Now, if you know your strength, be mindful of where you're supposed to be. And don't go for where you're not supposed to be. This is not the time. And if you would agree with me, you would see that it's like the year is running faster than we expect. I mean, it's January 8th, and I just did Happy New Year last...
Yeah, like last Monday.
Like 3 days ago, but now it's not 3 days ago. Yeah. So it tells us that we can't afford to waste time anymore. So if there's anything we need to do now, it's
to focus.
For that person is to focus on where you should be. But that takes mindfulness. Yeah. There are times I want to go into things that looks juicy, but really won't add up to my big goal. So it takes mindfulness. And how do you do mindfulness? Daily. You could do it before you go out to work, or you could do it after work. You can just sit at home and then think about it. What were the things I did? I was at TVC today. So was that really fulfilling? Is it part of the big dream? Is it part of the big goal? So you need to think about that. Start practicing it daily. Many people don't, as simple as it is, they don't think these things could work.
You know, I actually really like these things you've said, because mindfulness is key in achieving your goals. You don't need to be scattered. Just keep your mind focused while you're taking steps to achieving your goals. Thank you so much for this, Matapita. It's been quite an interesting conversation.
And you're welcome. We have a very modest guest with us here today, Iola Damilola. She's the creative director at Tommy Phil Cakes and also confectionery. She joins us to talk about, her foray into the world of confectioneries as an entrepreneur. You are welcome, Iola.
Thank you.
Did I get that right? Iola.
Iola, yes.
Iola. What does that mean? I'm just curious. Iola means...
I don't know.
Yeah. It's a good way to start. You're welcome.
Thank you.
What do I call a person who's into confectionery? Do I still call you a baker or what now? Am I correct?
Yeah.
You are
call me a baker, yeah. Because what we do mostly is bake.
And you bake for parties, you bake for weddings, you bake for...
we do outdoor, like your wedding cakes. We do small chops, dessert, like cake parfait, fruit parfait.
Nice.
Stuff like that.
Wow, you must have a sweet tooth. Edibles, yeah. Did you have to like confectionaries to go into that business, or was it just something you had to do because you wanted to make money? I'm looking for passion versus...
If you're going into it because of the money part, you fail.
There's no money. Yola, what's going on?
No, I'm not saying there's no money. There is, but money should not be what drives, motivates you to do so. That's to be your passion.
Okay.
So because most times you break down. You don't have passion for what you're doing. Sometimes you go for... I've gone to... I think I've attended a party and I didn't meet up.
Okay.
I was supposed to serve cake parfait. I didn't meet up. And the guy just came and was like, I'll go call my mom for you. And I was like...
And it broke you down, didn't it? So along with actually being a caterer, there's also the passion that goes with it, and also that human side is what I'm noticing. But first off, let's talk about how long you've been doing this. You've been doing this for about 5 years, you say. Yes. We touched on the money bit. I want to know, if I was to go into this kind of business, what should I put forward and what should I expect? When should I expect to break even as my sole business, as my sole source of income? I want to get a clear picture because there's so many people, especially this time that we're in, who want to do alternative businesses that will eventually become their main business. And if confectioneries is it, I want to know what I'm in for. So what would I be looking forward to if I was to choose this as my alternative business with the aim of making it my sole business?
Okay, first you need to train. You need to train, you need to get well trained.
Well trained.
At least to be
This
sure
will take
of
how long?
what you're serving out.
This will take how long, this training?
Depends on
How
what
quick
and
I am.
what you're going into.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. When I started with cakes.
Strictly
So
cakes.
the training was just a month.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
So if you're out there, if you want to start with cakes, it could just take as little as a month then.
Yes.
That's very interesting. I thought it was going to take like 6 months or maybe even a year.
Yeah, when you start taking extra classes.
Okay, okay.
So we have beginners class. That's what I took.
Okay,
1
and then
month.
you practiced and perfected the
that will
skill.
help you a lot. Practice.
All right, grand. So 1 month of training, perhaps for beginners class, and then I can go into business. But it's not easy getting customers. How did you manage starting your business out with, your customers? How did you meet them? Where did you meet them?
Okay, when I started training. During my training, once you're taught on, okay, particular cake like vanilla cake, you have to practice. So after the practice, I gave it out. So their feedback is what is going to give me the vibe. Like, okay, I think I'm getting there, and all that.
And then you also judge the value of what the cake might be, and that's how you perhaps put a price on it.
Yeah.
But the people you're selling to, how do you make that network of people that you're selling to? Who do you sell to, for instance, for starters, actually? Who are your customers? Is it schools?
I started with family.
Family.
Yes.
That's what I'm asking now.
Yes, family, and most times, what I did, my mom, she's a Christian. So at church, anytime they want to, they do this harvest. They call it juvenile harvest. So I'll go in to their committees and tell them, okay, are you doing snacks? They say, okay, yeah, we are doing okay. I'll do my charges free. Just supply me what I will use
to make. Okay.
So from there, people started knowing me.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a good way. And then from there, you can sell to these people when the time comes.
Yeah.
That's interesting. But I'm going to need equipment. You have your own equipment. If I'm going to invest in this business, apart from the ingredients that I'm going to need to make these confectionaries, what would it cost me to set up in terms of the equipment I'm going to need? Or maybe even the people I might have to employ. Do you have people you've employed to help you, or are you just strictly a one-man business?
When I started 1 month. But now I have a mini bakery.
Okay, with people whom you've employed.
I have 2 workers.
Fantastic.
A baker and a sales rep.
Good. So how much would it cost me to set up with my equipment, my utensils, and all of that?
Okay, with our economy now.
Yeah, so the economy now is very different from 5 years. I know, thank you for reminding me. But
And I started then.
Yeah. With the economy now, how much would it cost a person to set up?
Preferably, you can say 300, small scale, when I started.
Okay. When you started. And how long did it take you to make up, to break even with that 300?
I didn't start with 300.
You started with
I'm
much
just
more.
saying now.
Now, okay,
small
fine.
Scale.
Okay,
When I started with 70,000 naira.
good. And how
I
much
was
did
able
it?
to get my small oven
Okay.
and some baking equipment.
Uh,
When I started, I had no mixer. I was using my hand.
yeah, you have to go through that school. Yes, it's okay.
So while I was selling and all that, I started doing thrift.
Okay.
So at the end of the month, what I collect, I got
Put it
my
into
mixer. I was getting things.
So how long did it take you to finally set up and make back your 70,000 and the money that you borrowed from Thrift? How much?
I didn't borrow.
How much? How long rather did it take you to get back that capital that you put into the business?
A year.
A year.
Yes.
Okay. So the reason
Just
why
a
I'm
year.
asking these very specific questions is because the segment here, what we do is actually make people know that you have an advantage when you find us here on this segment, because you can learn from people's pathways, especially like for businesses that are easily attainable, easy to start.
Yes.
And that's what we're encouraging people to do. So if you're out there and the economy is doing you like this, like it's doing all of it, I don't mind even starting a business on the side that has to do with confectionaries, and I'm taking that sample from off of you. So I hope you don't mind that we're ripping you of this knowledge because it's very essential for everyone who's watching right now. There are lots of housewives out there who want to start businesses, and your kind of business are the ones that we're proffering for them.
Yeah.
Now, what advice would you give to that housewife who's watching you right now and seeing that you've been in the business for 5 years? What advice would you give them, and how, let's say, from start to finish, what would you ask them to do? Now, we've started with training, we've gotten our equipment, now the marketing of it and the business relationship. How do you relate with customers to make sure that they come back to you? What do you do?
Firstly, as an housewife, I started like that.
Aha, we have the right candidate here.
Also, I do, because after Hendy, I settled down. So after I had my first son, I wasn't feeling it because I was running now Open University.
Okay.
I wasn't feeling fulfilled, but I still want to be around my...
So to that housewife like you,
Yes.
what would you tell them? One sentence, how would you ask them? What would you tell them to do?
Just have a passion.
Just have a passion.
Yes.
And they'll
be dedicated.
be dedicated.
I really need to do this and I have to.
Fantastic. Iola, you are a beacon for all other housewives out there. And we love the fact that you're here on the show today. We thank you very much for coming so that everybody can take sample from your endeavors.
Thank you.
We're glad. And please, I heard you brought a gift in for us. It's a cake, yes?
Yes.
I would like to tell Mary and Titi that the cake is mine because she's my guest. But in any case, we're going to have that cake in the kitchen so that we can show everybody what you brought for us.
No problem.
Thank you very much, Iola.
Thank you so
We appreciate it. Do stay. And of course, do stay because we have the finale and reveal for what it is that we've been cooking since morning, since 7 a.m. here on Wake Up Nigeria. Coming up next, we'll be back.
Like food.
Okay then, now we're back in the kitchen. The 2 M's and some harmony in the kitchen here. Yes,
Nice, I like that.
Mary and, yeah. So we're gonna have a harmonious moment. Where
Of course, we have Iola with us.
Where we have our guest taste this yam pottage. Really well done, chef. It looks amazing. Smells amazing too, right?
You know what? While we take it, let me push this.
Why are we giving her the
so we
dessert?
can-
This is
So now, Mary and Mazino are permitted to begin the dragging of the cake.
Please just dig in. Let's have.
Oh, we have some brown. Oh, I'm so hungry. I want brownies.
Brownies.
Yes.
Really? Yes. Oh, goodness me. All right, so chef, how many? One more time. Let's talk about the ingredients in here. We have some panla fish.
We have beef.
Yeah.
We have crayfish. We have sweet potato. We have
Yam.
yam.
Yeah.
We have oil. We have tomato paste, pepper
Yeah.
mix.
And we have the food ready. That's what I want to hear.
Please have a quick taste and tell us what you think.
It's going to be nice, I bet, because I could smell it from since.
Yes, so.
Smelling beautiful. Is it called asaro in Yoruba? Am I correct? Asaro, yeah?
Asaro.
Yeah, I learned that. I learned that recently, actually.
Oh, she said, wow. And she's going in for another one. She's going in for another one. And for someone in the business to say, wow, you know,
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
So, Iola, while you're tasting that, let me taste your brownie and I'll give you the verdict.
Please do.
Right.
I can smell so much chocolate.
Wow.
Okay.
Sure.
A lot
It's a
of
grand
wows.
one.
in
A
the
lot of
kitchen
wows.
today.
Okay.
But
very soon we have sirens
I have to
too.
say thank you to everyone.
Wow.
Show today. It's been a marvelous way to start Monday for
Indeed.
this week. Yeah, we're going to be back again at 7 a.m. tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yes. Tomorrow.
Definitely.
So we hope you join us then, remember. And of course, we're still doing our giveaways.
Yeah.
So it didn't happen today, but tomorrow, see?
No, you should check it out
All week.
online. It's always happening online.
Yes,
Use our
indeed.
hashtag WakeupNigeria on TVC and check it out.
Until tomorrow, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Make a sorrow.